All right, and I believe we are live. Welcome everyone to Masculine Geek number 84, the live stream D&D session 7.
All right.
Mr. Raul Tomasi as Dungeon Master.
Geek number 84.
And somebody we're getting some feedback, so somebody's got to shut that shit down.
Is it
me?
Who is it?
No, that was me. I had the thing in the background.
Oh.
I had to go and get the link so I could share it.
Gotcha. I appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you, Bacon. It's always a pleasure to
right, gentlemen.
And take it away, Mr. Dungeon Master.
There we go. All right, I've been doing a lot of prep work for this, as you might guess. We have a new player. First off, I just want to introduce Spencer Harding. Spencer and I go way back to like 2007, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a Tuesday.
Yeah. Spencer and I used to do a show called 40K Radio a long time ago. And so we've always stayed in touch, and he likes to play, and so I thought he would make a really fine addition to this whole shebang here. So here's the thing. Last time we were playing, we got to just basically do a episode 0 kind of thing, so we could catch up and get everybody equipped and all that. The only person who, or actually I shouldn't say, the only two people who weren't here were TJ and Spencer. So TJ, your character Aldemar is the ranger in all of this group. So that's I think maybe we should probably just go around the table here. Vince at the top left-hand corner there is Grot, the half-orc fighter.
Yes.
Right? That's all you are. Just
That's
fighter.
correct.
Just
That's a straight-up fighter.
Okay. So
let me change my my banner too.
There we go. Aldemar is Ranger, human Ranger, and is at 5th level. All you guys are at or around 4th, 5th, or 6th level, somewhere around there. Right. Sarah, which is Rob's character there at the top right, is a tiefling warlock. I have been corrected. Thank you very much. And Sled, of course, is Aaron Clary's character. He's the icon there down at the bottom left. That is, he is a human rogue, but we call him a thief, and he is an aspiring assassin for this particular adventure. Drew, you are Gray Vargson, the cleric, neutral good. And I introduced you to your god today. I didn't know if you had a chance to actually have a look at that. It's in the DM. So I dug you one up from the world of Greyhawk, which is Paylor. So that's is exactly the same alignment as you. So it's like actually, according to what you gave me as far as your character sheet was concerned, I think he's like absolutely perfect for your character. So I couldn't think of a more perfect god for you to have as your patron.
Found it. I'm going to read up on that real quick while you do the rest of the introductions.
Okay. And of course we've got Spencer Harding there, who is at the bottom right, and he is he's a fighter, human fighter, and we will introduce him later on through the campaign here as we move through it. As we left off last time, I think I just sort of gave you a little bit of flavor text there. You guys are in right now you have been working in a city that is sort of it's not really a port city, but it has a river that runs into where it is. It's called Dunwater. And right now, there is some officials coming in from outside of the area to have some sort of big meeting right now. Drew, you are technically the seneschal of the regent of Dunwater right now. Okay. The regent of Dunwater is his name is Benelli Erstad. That's what, or Erstad, von Erstad. Okay, so he's kind of a rough and tumble kind of guy. He's more of like a caretaker of this particular area. He's technically the regent of it, but he's the one who is drawing all of these leaders from outlying areas into this and for some sort of summit meeting at the freehold that you guys are in right now. Grot and Sled and Saro are part of the guild right now, and the guild is a thieves guild, of course, but it's just known as the guild, and it operates sort of outside of the local government right now, but it is recognized by Lord Ernstad because they are sort of a source of power. So he tolerates the guild insofar as they don't try to take over the government, and he won't try to take over the guild. So there's sort of an understanding. It's almost like a mob type situation. So the guild is more like a mob rather than
Yeah.
kind of like official kind of form of government or any kind of official thing. They exist. The guild exists in other areas as well, in other territories. But in this area, it's just known as the guild. And Sled, you are working for a nameless, let's just say a nameless operative right now who is helping you train he's kind of grooming you, I guess, to be an assassin. Grot, you and Saro and Sled have been sort of like doing odd jobs for the guild right now, because Sled is really kind of like the guy who's in the guild and is getting the jobs, and Grot is acting more as the strong arm right now. He's sort of like he's the muscle. And Arrow is right there just sort of for magical support in case things go south. He's kind of right there to take care of things. And Sled is the one who sort of organizes stuff. So right now, Sled has been taking jobs, basically extortion jobs, and has not had to actually kill anybody of any importance right now. But you guys have roughed up some people. So Sled is, I wouldn't say he's evil, but he's not exactly good either. So I believe Sled is chaotic neutral, and Saro, you are chaotic neutral as well. Am I right about that? And Grot, of course, is just Grot. Who cares what Grot?
Grot just likes to kill.
Grot has no moral crises. So
nope.
Okay, so that's where you guys are at this moment. Aldemar, you have been in what's called the Sus Forest, and you have been part of a group of other rangers as well as a couple of druids right now, working your way through the Sus Forest. You're on your way back. Actually, you were sent on a reconnaissance mission to check out where the slave lords or where the slave trade is originating from. And you've tracked it to a city that is a coastal city. It's along what's called the Wild Coast. And the only way that you can get through there is to go through the Sus Forest. And you've been kind of working your way through there. Your specialty, as you know, or your preferred enemies, I should say, are orcs. And so therefore, you've took on this sort of mission. It's like a scouting mission with like 3 other rangers and a druid right now. And you've gone and discovered where the source or where the I won't say the hideout is, but it's sort of where they're the slave bands have been taking the slaves to. And at some point they are taking these slaves, putting them on boats and sailing them somewhere, but they're taking them and collecting them in this city of Highport. And you've sort of tracked down where you can find where people have been going to purchase these slaves, and you've tracked them down to a temple within the city of Highport right now, and you're returning back to the city of Dunwater, the township, I should say, of Dunwater, in order to inform the Lord Ernstadt what your findings are, because he had sent you guys out there to go and do so. On your way back, however, you find you get through a clearing in the forest, and you find a humanoid of some sort laying in what looks like kind of a muddy pit, like maybe just sort of a dry creek bed, but has a little bit of water running through it. And you find this individual who is looks like he's dead. So I'm gonna start with you really quickly, Aldemar. You see a guy he's face down right now, wearing some dirty chainmail, and looks like maybe there was a shield somewhere. Maybe he was overtaken. And then around his area where he is laying in this kind of dry creek bed, you see like a shield that's sort of off to one side. And then you see sort of tattered clothes around. And then you also see some carcasses around where he is. And they look like maybe they're antelope or maybe deer or some sort of like animal. You can't really make out what they were, but it looks like probably some kind of deer or maybe some kind of furred animal are laying around, but it's basically like carcasses around him.
So wounded guy with a dead animal carcass next to him.
Well, yeah, several of them actually.
Gotcha. So I guess if I can go for my first move, can I do a perception check?
Yeah, and remember, you're with 2 other rangers that are with you that are just kind of like holding back while you're going up and investigating this, and there's a druid that's with you as well.
Okay, gotcha. So I'm going to check for perception.
Okay.
So I got 19.
Right.
And perception is +5, I believe.
Okay, so your perception check right now is you can smell something a little bit strange. You get a scent off of this guy, and it smells like maybe like strong alcohol. And then also you smell it smells kind of like livestock about him as well. So you're catching kind of a whiff of some kind of livestock. It's sweaty, like almost like a when you ride a horse for too long, you get the horse scent on you. Yeah, that kind of smell.
Okay. I'm gonna draw my longsword and approach and investigate further. So he's got the shield. There's a shield that's next to the carcass.
Laying next to him, off to about maybe 5 or 6 feet away from where he is.
5, 6 feet away. Okay. Can I roll for agility, or is that one of the ones? I was thinking I'm gonna try and kick the shield away from him, so he can't grab that.
Okay.
I'll roll. Not very good. That was a 5.
You shove it away. It's not.
Yeah. Okay. So
he's laying face down. The chainmail is it's not great, but it's not. You can tell it's not magical of any kind.
Okay.
But as you get closer, you notice that his body is kind of an ash gray or a dark, almost like a dark black ash gray, as if he'd had something smeared on his body.
Okay. I'm going to try and use my boot to like roll him onto his back.
Okay.
Keep my sword up.
Okay. So you move him onto his, like you can kind of kick him over, and he kind of moves a little bit. You hear kind of like a grunting from him, and you can flip him over if you want. He's kind of heavy. You're not going to be able to do it with your boot.
So can I turn to my?
It looks like he's fairly built. Let's just say that.
Okay. What I'm gonna do is keep my sword near his head and have the other fighters come and help.
Mm-hmm.
But basically,
it takes 2 of the other guys to kind of flip him over.
Yeah.
But you flip him over, and you can see his face, and his entire body is sort of wrapped in just like, it looks like rags, but also his skin looks like it's been like sort of rubbed with ash, or like a dark, some kind of like maybe even coal or something like that that's on it. You flip him over, his face, you can tell he's kind of passed out, and as you flip him over, you can tell he's been drinking. So they're kind of breathes out a little bit of liquor breath or beer breath, and he kind of groans a little bit. He's still kind of out of it.
I'm gonna have one of the Rangers keep, basically have their weapon drawn in case he does anything, and then I'm gonna search him.
Okay.
On him.
All right. He doesn't have much on him. It's just basically the chainmail. You're not seeing any weapons near where he is. There's only the shield. You do notice that his feet are wrapped in something. They're wrapped in like some kind of rags or something like that, rather than like boots per se. And he's got his pants. The pants that he does have on, or what's left of them anyways, are kind of tattered as well.
Well, I guess I'm going to grab the shield he has. What kind of what kind of shield it is?
It's a fairly well made shield, actually. It's wooden, but it's bound with steel.
Okay, I'll take that. So I'll just throw it over my shoulder.
Okay.
And I'm going to look to see if I have any kind of potion that might revive him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any potions. I guess.
Do you have any potion? Not yet. You will. I actually haven't equipped you yet because you weren't around for episode 0, but I will when you get back to.
I guess I'll just start gently kicking him in the side to try and get away.
Okay, he kind of wakes up a little bit. He's kind of groans a little bit. He's kind of like a little woozy. You notice that his face is kind of like angular. He has very sharp features. His nose is very, I don't say pointed, but just like sort of angular, and definitely you could see a jawbone, like kind of like, not want to say gaunt, but like definitely has angular features to his face, and it's still kind of like he reaches up and starts rubbing his head a little bit, and he's still kind of like hasn't really regained consciousness at this stage.
Okay, great. I'm not sure what to do. I guess I'll call to him, say, "Who are you? What happened?"
Okay. Spencer, go right ahead. You wake up in this dry creek bed and you see a ranger in front of you, kind of hooded. He's got two other friends with him that are also there, hooded. They're not bedraggled or anything like that. They are definitely well equipped, and there looks like some sort of. You can tell it's a druid of some sort. You're familiar with the druid circles of this area, so you can see that there's three individuals in front of you, and one of them is saying, "Who are you?"
Oh, yeah, ale. Do you have any ale?
I don't. We have water.
Well, we have water.
No need for that. Oh,
Stay
Who are
hydrated.
you?
why do you have my shield?
I wasn't quite sure what you were going to do with it when you woke up.
Smart. I'd have probably bashed your face in with it. I'll take that back.
So he gets up. He kind of like gets onto his. He kind of gets himself up, not on his feet, but just sort of like sitting on his butt, kind of thing, right now.
Gotcha. So I take the shield off my shoulder and hand it back to him and say, "So who are you? And care to explain what happened?"
I call myself Sin. And I don't know. I fell asleep, I guess. It's kind of
Wow.
bright for being a tavern.
Yeah, you're not at the tavern. You're near a dry creek bed.
Good.
Yeah,
No tab. No tab for me tonight.
Do you eat the animals around you?
No, no.
So for Sin, it's all a little bit foggy right now, as you can tell. So he's a bit, let's say, hungover, but he looks like he's a bit fatigued. Let's just say.
Gotcha. Well, friend, if you don't require any assistance, me and my friends will be on our way.
It's a loose way you use friend. I don't even know your name.
My name's Aldemar. I'm a ranger. So are two of my friends. The other one's a cleric. Or a druid. My bad.
Druid, close enough. Okay, so that's you guys at this particular moment. Let's move on to Sled and Vince and Sarah, and Grot and Sarah right now. So you guys, right at this stage, you are being called to a tavern that is within the city of Duckwater. It is called the Golden Boar, and this is where you go to meet your contacts to take different jobs. So at this stage right now, Sarah, Sled, and Vince, you're sort of coming up onto the Golden Boar. And there's a few more people around than around the city right now than has been in the past. Usually, this is not very populated sort of a township, but there's a lot more people for some reason, and they seem to have be influxed with the drawing together, I guess, of all of the area, the lords of this particular area right now. As you approach the Golden Boar, you notice a beggar at the front of the Golden Boar, and he is doing something with his hands and trying to get your attention, Sled.
Okay, I walk up to him, cautiously.
Okay, as you get up to him, you realize that the hand gestures he's sending you right now are thieves' cant language.
Okay.
Thieves' cant language.
All right.
And
Do
he's
I have to
saying,
roll for that, or do I just naturally understand this?
actually, do a perception check first. You understand it, but I want to see how much of it you get because he is a beggar.
I rolled a 19 with my
Okay.
modifier 26.
Okay, you can tell he's part of the guild for sure.
All right.
And there, in the guild, there are a lot of people who are just sort of either undercover or they are like even beggars can be part of the guild, so that they know that they can go to certain areas of the town and they won't have any kind of competition with other beggars, basically. But this guy is a messenger for the guild, and you can tell that he's telling you to use caution inside when you go in, and to just kind of watch your back, kind of thing. There are some let's just say authorities that are not part of the local government that are in the area right now. Because remember, this is just like the Dunwater is just a kind of a freehold that is part of a larger territory that's known as what is it, Celine, I think is what it's called. So it's just basically sort of giving you a warning as you go into this place, because you're supposed to meet your contact in this place.
Okay. I informed the other guys. I said, "Hey."
Yeah, they would not understand this.
Right. I transfer the information that there's a
What he say, Sled? He said something with hands.
Yeah, looks like we got to be on our guard. There's some muscle or some legal authorities from a different town, and they might be up to no good. So be careful what you say and keep an eye out for strangers. Can I talk to him? And
yes, you can.
Okay, I like to ask him using Thieves' Cant. Who or what should I be looking out for?
He says, in a way, it seems like he says police or constable.
Okay,
is what you're getting from him.
Okay,
it might be also justice.
Okay. All right, I tell guys.
Remember, these are hand gestures.
Yeah, no, I know it's not the Webster
like,
Merriam dictionary.
Yeah,
I say it looks like there's some kind of fuzz, some kind of cops or constable or law enforcement in there. So I don't know if it's one guy or a group of guys, but if I'm sure they'll make themselves known. But maybe we go in one at a time and go in a different, so we don't all walk in, so they assume that we're together. Maybe we just go in.
Right. Sarah, I need you to roll a wisdom check right now. And I have all your characters up here in my PDF reader, so
cool.
19 total.
Okay. All right, you get kind of let's just say you've got an uneasy feeling right now, because there's a lot of I won't say foreigners, but people from outside the area, and you being a tiefling, you understand that there is outside of the guild, you are in some cases hunted,
right?
Because you are. People don't like you. Okay. They think you are going to bring either bad stars upon the city or what have you. So you kind of get a bad, your spidey senses are tingling as a warlock, where all this is going on right now.
Well, and I know I have an ability to kind of, and that's what I'm trying to look up here real quick. I'm not sure if it's magical or if it's part of if it's the warlock thing or if it's the tiefling thing, but basically I can disguise myself so that I can basically like pass off as human or something else other than what I actually am.
Now you guys are in cloaks right now, and because there's a slight drizzle that's coming down, so you've got that on you right now. You're passing for human at this stage. Do you want to? You probably don't want to do it right here, anyways. If you do anything magical, so you might.
Well, that's what I'm trying to look up here.
And then this is just the DM like giving you a little bit of.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to look up, because that's what I want to do. It's like, I need to up the masquerade, so to speak.
Yeah. So in that case, okay, Sled. So Grot, what are you doing with all this is going on?
I'm assuming we haven't
gone in just yet. There's some people kind of going by you. You're seeing you're also noticing some soldiery that's kind of walking through the common areas and of the I won't say courtyard, but the common areas of the town right now.
Okay. Well, I kind of grunt and I lean into the beggar and I thank you. this man, cheap bastard, and I throw a silver coin in his bowl.
Okay, and he lifts it up and pretends that he's blind when he's really not.
Exactly.
So, do you want to do? What do you guys want to do? You want to go in?
Yeah, I'll go in first. I'll.
Is there another entry to the bar?
Not that you know of.
Okay, I'll just wait a bit and then follow.
It's a fairly well traveled. Like the thing about the golden boar is the golden boar is actually the symbol of this particular region is a boar's head on a green background. So that's why everything's sort of boar themed.
Yeah. What's the entrance look like? Is it like a swinging saloon doors? Is it an
no,
oak door? Or is it
a large wooden door, large iron-bound wooden door? Actually, it's double doors, and there's even windows along the edge, so you can see there's people inside. You can hear people talking.
Okay. Does it open? I'm going to make a dramatic entrance. Does it open inwards? Like I could just. All right. So I just kind of thrust them open. I walk in like I own the place.
Like a Daffy Duck kicking his foot in on.
Yeah. Boom! Just slam the door.
So you go barreling into this thing.
Oh, I strut purposefully. Yes.
Okay. So you enter. Sarah, what are you doing?
Not quite as dramatic of an entrance as Grat, but I'm following him in.
Follow along. Okay. And Sled, are you done with the beggar, or are you going to go in?
I'm just gonna wait and just hang outside for like 30 seconds, then go in.
Okay. So, Sled, do a perception check, and Grot, you go in. As soon as you go in, the conversation dies, and then it picks back up again.
All right, I just kind of like survey very quickly, especially like corners and like places where people can hide and shit.
Half the guys in here at least think they might know who you are.
Okay,
you're the muscle.
Gotcha. All right, cool.
You have kind of a reputation.
All right.
I rolled a 26.
Roll a 26. Okay. Again, Sled, you are seeing, you notice something similar to what Grot was, is that there's a lot of soldiery in here, and they're wearing colors that aren't of the local militia, or not of the constabulary as well. And do me a wisdom check as well, Sled.
All right. Hang on.
Wise it up.
Wow, 19 again. This is great. Hang on.
You're on fire. Hopefully you keep that up when the attacks are coming.
My wisdom.
Yeah. Okay. You do notice that there are amongst the soldiery that's in here, like sort of the foreign soldiery that's in there. You notice there are two individuals who are in black, like black and gold. You're not really sure if they're wearing armor, but they look like they might be underneath the black and gold cloaks. As I said, everybody's kind of got cloaks on right now because it's a little bit of a drizzle that's coming down.
All right, are they bigger guys? Small? Do they look like fighters?
They look
mages?
They look I mean, they're humanoid. They're humans. You can sort of tell that they look human enough, but they look tall. They look maybe about 6 foot tall.
All right. I'll just walk up to the bar.
Okay.
Nonchalantly, just
Okay, so you settled in.
Yep. Okay. Do I recognize? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. So you settle in. You get in with the rest of these guys. Are you? I guess you're sticking with Grot and Saro as well.
I'm not even gonna stand next to him. I'll stand like 2-3 people down from him.
Okay. So Grot, what are you doing? Are you gonna go grab something to drink?
I'm gonna grab something to drink and some bar snacks because I'm feeling a bit hungry.
Okay. So getting some food. All right. That's actually that works really well. Sarah, what are you doing? There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people in here. There's at least 45 people in here.
All right, just keeping my hands inside my cloak, basically, kind of just gripping my dagger just in case.
Standing around. Okay, are you gonna stick by Grot, or are you gonna sort of like?
I'm gonna kind of move off to the side, kind of stay in the shadows, just keep an eye on what everyone's doing. Try to put my back against the wall.
Okay. As you go in, Sled, you feel somebody pull you off to the side.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit!
Yeah, they pull you out. They pull you into sort of this. I don't want to say it's like a booth or an area that's sort of away
confession booth.
Yeah, a confessional area. Yeah, right. And the guy is you can tell he's a little bit shorter than you, maybe just a hair shorter than you. And again, in a cloak, has his face sort of covered, but he uncovers his face, and it's this is your contact. You don't know who the guy is personally, but he is. Right now, I'll give you some. He says.
Come in if you want. Oh, sorry. Hang on. Sorry, my mistake.
He grabs you and, like I said, pulls you off to the side, and he sits you down by candlelight and says, "We have a job for you." And
cool.
he says, "This is going to be this." He says, "If you really want to finally, put yourself up in the ranks, let's just say, you'll accept this job. We have a hit, basically a hit for you that we want you to take care of." And we think it's one of our former operatives, and we need to have this guy eliminated. We need you to kill an individual named Jabal. And they explain to you that he used to be part of the inner circle of the guild and has sort of gone rogue, so to speak. So what do you want to ask him anything?
All right, where do I find him?
He says, "Well, we think he's in the city of Highport right now.
Highport.
The last we've tracked him to was the city of Highport. We think he may have some dealings with the slavers that are in Highport right now."
All right. What's he look like?
He says, "You can't miss him." He says he'll be the one with the star on his forehead.
Oh, that's pretty precise.
He says, "But beware, he has the same talents and the same skill set that you do right now."
All right. Cool.
So you take him out, and they said things will happen for you.
All right. You need proof of me taking him out?
Whatever he says, if you want to bring him back alive, if you want to bring him back dead, you've got to bring something along that proves that he proof of death is all that's required.
All right. Sounds good. Looks like
And you are approved to use any means necessary.
All right. Sounds good. I'll say, is there anything else that I might need to know?
We think he's found religion.
I'd make a joke, but I'm not going to.
Jesus Christ.
So be careful. We think he's found religion.
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks, buddy. And I'll just let him leave before.
So he kind of disappears back in the shadows, kind of thing. And before he leaves, he puts some kind of little trinket in your hand as he's leaving.
Okay. Do I know what it is?
Yeah, you can look at it. It looks like some sort of gold animal of some sort. Like maybe it's a dog or it's maybe an elk of some sort. You can't really tell. It's very poorly done, but it's a gold kind of trinket, like about yay big.
Okay. TJ made it in the 3rd grade.
Yes, exactly.
Jesus Christ.
Cool. All right. Well, then after he leaves, like after a 5-second count, I'll walk up to the bar and kind of stand next to Garrot.
Okay.
And then I'll kind of maybe signal Sorrow to come over.
Okay.
What happened?
Does Sorrow come over?
Yes, you can come over.
Okay. Say,
What go on?
Well, we got some employment, gentlemen. You interested?
Oh, yes.
Sure.
Does it involve my sword?
What doesn't, Grot? When don't we use your sword? Unless it's your fist.
This is both true. Yes.
So
okay.
we got. I just tell him. I convey the information and say we got to go to Highport. We're looking for a.
Count me in.
A guy named Jabal, and dead or alive.
Jabal. That strange name.
Jabal.
Jabal.
Okay. As you guys are there, you see several soldiers enter into the tavern at this stage, and one of the individuals you saw earlier, Sled, the guy that is in black with gold, pushes back his cloak, and you notice that he has black plate mail armor on with a gold trim on the black plate mail, and all the conversation in the room dies.
Do I know what that means? The gold plate?
No, well, actually, I shouldn't say that. Do perception, do wisdom checks, all of you, even Grot. Yes, even Grot.
Even Grot.
8.
11.
Roll 19.
All
Plus
right,
one,
19 is our
20.
number today.
20.
You get the feel. Okay, well, you're the only one who said that's great.
Isn't that great? I'm like, some
So,
odd.
you can tell that this guy is some sort of enforcer, and is a higher up in the I guess the regional army of this area. And the guy steps in and he looks around and he's got some sort of holy symbol around his neck. And he's looking around the room, just kind of scanning around the room. And everybody has kept silent. He hasn't said a word since he walked in there. There's about 10 guys roll in with him. So there's 10 soldiers that are in kind of like half plate right now. They have swords, and then about four of them have like halberds, like pole arms. And they come in, and this, like I said, it sort of kills the conversation in the tavern. And the guy looks around, and he looks at all the people that are in there, and very slowly he reaches into a pouch that's on the side of his hip there. And you notice he also carries some sort of either a mace or some kind of hammer that is on this is his sidearm. As he does so, and he reaches into his pouch and he pulls out what look like 3 coins. He sets these coins on the nearest table, and he looks around, and he says, "You know what these are?" And everybody kind of looks at him, and a few people nod their head. He says, "Okay." And he turns around, and he walks out the other way. Comes out, goes right out the door, and the soldiery kind of turns around after him and march out the door. And everybody's kind of in this stunned silence, and nobody's touching the coins as of yet. And they all kind of look at each other, and about 6 guys jump at those coins, and they're reaching to grab those coins off the table.
What foolery is this?
I don't know. I just kind of if we're still at the bar, I'm gonna lean to Bart. I said, "What the heck's going on?"
What give?
So everybody, there's a mad scramble for these coins, and like about 3 or 4 guys they all grab at once to grab these coins, and a few of them grab them and pocket these coins, and they start looking around the room as if they're trying to find something or somebody.
They seem to be looking in our direction, or
they look at you, then they look past you, and they keep looking around at each other.
All right, good.
And about 10 of the guys that are in all the guys that grab the coins, and about 10 other guys who are with them file out of the front, and then go off in various directions with these coins.
Something strange. Sled, what we do?
I truthfully, I'm not interested. We got our own job.
Okay, so you got your own job.
I got our own job. I lean to the bartender. I say, "What was that all about?"
He
Do I
says,
get any information?
he looks at you, and he says, "You don't know who that is? You don't know what that is?
I don't know what that is. I don't know who that is.
Sarah,
Charlie.
roll a perception check.
Some foolish idiot.
Did you roll, Sarah?
Yeah, 7.
You got
You
it,
want me
Sarah?
You want me to roll too, or no?
Well, no, you don't. No, you don't have to. Only Sarah needs to roll for this one.
Okay.
When he says, "Don't you know what that is?" you get the same kind of uneasy feeling when he says, "Don't you know who?" He said who, and then he said, "Don't you know what he is?"
No, Charlie.
I have an idea.
Oh,
I'm going to disguise self. It's mask of many faces. I'm gonna just kind of, because it's a somatic / verbal thing, but it doesn't require a spell slot. It's something I can do at will.
I will. Okay.
But I am going to disguise myself.
Okay. And that you roll on charisma for that. So go ahead and roll charisma.
Okay.
'Cause I know your spells are based in charisma.
Okay, 15.
Okay, it goes off. You change yourself so that at least to the outside world you look like something different.
Just I look human basically, you know, my tail basically disappears as far as they can see, and same with the horns, all that, even though I'm wearing the cloak over everything. It's I don't want to look
than you did before.
right.
Right. Okay.
Skin tone changes to, you know, flesh color versus the black that my skin actually is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you guys actually sled roll now that you watch what Sarah just did, sled roll a perception check and Grot roll a perception check.
21.
21 and Grot.
I rolled a 10. I only have
Okay,
plus
Grot,
one, so I got an
You
11.
get a feeling that Sarah is a little bit nervous. Let's just say.
Is Sarah near me?
Sled, you put two. You're smart enough to put 2 and 2 together and know that guy was a witch hunter of some sorts.
Okay, witch hunter. All right.
Is Sarah? Did you sidle up next to us? Are you near us?
Oh yeah, I'm next to you guys. I'm like,
All
they're
right.
looking for me.
Oh,
you know that fool.
I don't know him, but I know of him. I know his type. They're looking.
You
for
know what he is.
Yeah, I know what they're looking for, and they're looking for me.
should we take him?
Well, we got
We need
back.
to get out of here.
All right.
Okay.
We need to get on our way.
All right. Let's halt you guys right there. Drew, boy, we got to work on you. Drew, you are the seneschal of the regent of Lord Ernstadt.
Baylor, Ernstadt.
Pelor is your god. Ernstadt is the regent of the area. Okay. So you have an order of Pelor that is resident within the freehold right now. You are you're the seneschal, but the seneschal is also sort of a religious position right now. So as a seneschal, you arrange things. You organize things. And as it stands right now, you are at a meeting, like a summit meeting of the lords of this particular area. And they have been discussing really for the last 4 days what to do about the slavers problem that is sort of plaguing not just this area, but the area of these other lords. You also understand, and this is going to be public knowledge anyway, so I'll just go ahead and tell everybody else as well. You also understand that some of the lords of the other territories did not want to engage these guys, but the slave lords or whoever is organizing these slave raids along the Wild Coast, and the Wild Coast is sort of in some ways it is a very good trade route, let's just say, and they can't afford to have these the coastal cities being raided all the time, as well as now they're moving inland, and that was sort of like the last straw. So they sent out Ranger reconnaissance, which is what Aldemar is part of. You are familiar with Aldemar, so you already know who he is. He's part of kind of like the, I'd say paramilitary, but he's sort of like the scout group or the reconnaissance group for the city, for Tunwalk. And so he is returning. You know that he is returning from his scouting trip, and he should be within the city within a day or so. And as you guys are as you're attending these meetings, you also are the steward of his young nephew, and his young nephew's name is Lupo. Now, Lupo is about 15, maybe 16 years old, somewhere around there. You're not really sure. You don't want to ask, actually. Lupo is kind of he needs some guidance. He needs some direction, and he's simply not getting it, simply because his father's gone. His father's dead, but he is sort of the ward of Lord Ernstadt, and he has sort of palmed him off on you. So Lupo kind of sticks around with you and asks you questions all the time. So he's there as well. And as you're going through these meetings, you kind of find out that a lot of the lords and a lot of the regents of these other territories have decided that it's time to do something about these guys. They're deciding right now whether they want to send some people in to sort of take out the leaders of these bands, or if they should just simply send in like the Navy or send in like a military force. And at this stage, they want to send people in to this area to sort of infiltrate it and find out what's going on. And this is the first clue that they have is a temple, that what's rumored to be a temple in the city of Highport right now. And so this is what you've got to kind of work with. And it's kind of up to you to organize a group of adventurers, of scouts and infiltrators to get into this temple to see what's going on. Now, you also know this, is that in the temple, this is where people are going to purchase these slaves, or you think it's to purchase slaves. You see trading bands go into the city of Highport, and they come out with groups of slaves, and then they put them on boats and they sail them out of the area, or they take them out in caravans out of the area. So clearly this is where they're doing sort of business out of Highport at this time. So it's up to you. The Lord Ernstadt has decided that you're his seneschal. So he wants you to sort of form a band of people to go into Highport and investigate this place. So do you have any questions? I'm sort of giving you just the rough background at this stage because you're going to have to be the one that is.
I have to bring Lupo with me, or
you don't have to.
Okay.
That's up to you. I leave all those variables open to players. But Lupo kind of follows you around and doesn't know really what he wants to do with himself.
He's practically a man at that age, so he might as well make himself useful. And if he's not useful, then well,
to the slave trader.
He can carry things.
He can carry things. He can fetch my tomes and whatnot. So I suppose we'll bring him along. He needs to learn a trade.
Okay, he's kind of a pasty white skinny kid that is I won't say ginger, but he's kind of ginger blonde hair.
Is he autistic?
No. He's actually probably too smart for his own good.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe he is. Aldemar, you and Sin are now on your way. You've got to find your way back. You've got to get back to report your duties. So at this stage, let's just say this: the druids are the druid that is with you before he leaves your group because he has to go back to his circle. To cast a cure disease spell on Sin. And Sin, you feel much better after that. Isn't it great? You can recover from your hangover just with a cure disease spell.
That's a handy trick.
So, Aldemar, do you want to explain to Sin what you were doing, or you just want to? He's kind of like tagging along with you right now because he's kind of aiming.
I'll say to him. So me and my friends were looking for where the slaves are being sold, and we found them. So now we're reporting back to our boss. If you want to come along, that's great. If not, we can part ways, but you're welcome to join us.
Sin, do an intelligence check real quick.
Let's see. Natural 1.
Oh, there you go. Okay. So you know of the city of Highport, but you have some very vague memory, maybe some sort of fevered dream or something that happened to you. You can't really remember it very well, but you do know that you have seen orcs in the area of Highport, and you have heard rumors around that area about there being some sort of slave trade around there. So you're vaguely, like foggily familiar with what he's talking about.
So it appears you fly under a banner of good and truth.
You could say that.
I will accompany you. I work for coin or ale or something stronger.
Right. Just keep one thing in mind. I give the orders.
Okay, so I presume you're going to go along with me. Now, Sin, you are the basic things that you have are just your shield and your chainmail at this stage. That's basically all you've got. So that's what you're working with at this point.
I guess, before we go, I would make sure. So the condition of my shield, is it?
Oh, you want to inspect it? You can inspect it.
I just want to know the visual aspect of what it looks like. Its outward appearance.
It's a finely made shield. Put it that way. It looks.
Okay. Is it clean?
What's that?
Is it clean?
It's muddy, as if it's used. You can tell it's seen use, but it's not like unused. It's not brand new, if that's what you're saying.
Well, Sin is going to look for. I want to look for something like wet moss would have mud on the bottom of it, or something that I can smear to cover any kind of reflection, or to kind of blend it in with the rest of my outwardly appearance.
Okay. All right. So Sin still looks like he's been rolling in the mud. And so he's going over to picking up some mud along. It's easy to do because you're in sort of, I won't say it's a downpour, but you're in sort of a drizzle. It's like it's fine English weather, right? It's a bit of a drizzle that's going on right now. And this is not uncommon. Right now, the time of year is getting towards, I would say, early to mid fall, and this is sort of the rainy season for this area. Aldemar, I want you to do a perception check.
Oh, nice. That's a 20 plus +5, so 25.
Okay. Your gut says that this guy is not evil.
I figured.
He's not a bad guy.
Not a bad guy. I will pause and turn around to him and say, "Do you like killing orcs?"
You guys talk for a minute. I can turn the lights on here.
Okay.
I fight many things. Orcs will do. Passes the time.
You good at killing?
I'm very good at killing.
Excellent.
Would you like to try?
Oh, we'll see. If you can, I'll find a way to get some ale.
Excellent decision.
You know of a great tavern.
So our plan now is, from what I understand, we're heading back to Dunwater.
You're heading back to Dunwater at this point to sort of report on what you've seen.
Okay. The druid's gone. There's the two rangers, me and Sin. All right, so gather the guys together, and so are we heading back through the forest?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're heading back to what's called the Sus Forest, and then there's some plains areas that you have to get through. It takes you about a day to get back from the position that you found Sin in. So you're kind of getting back into Dunwater right now. You have again, remember, you have a couple of ranger friends that are with you as well. So
I'll have one of the rangers. I'll take point. I'll have one of the rangers take the rear.
Okay.
Sin can join me.
Okay. So you guys are heading into the city right now. And Drew, you have messengers, you have outriders that tell you that the Rangers are back. Okay. So Aldemar, your first order of business is to go talk to Varkson, the cleric, because he is the Lord Seneschal. So you've got to find somewhere. You've got to get to him first because you've got to go through the bureaucracy.
Okay. So where do we have to head at this point? Where he's located?
Well, into town. You've got to get to the freehold. There's a main freehold in the city.
Okay.
I'm not going to map everything out for you. It's just basically there's a freehold.
All right. So we're going to head that way.
Okay.
Like I said, we got one guy taking the rear and another guy taking point.
Okay. So Sin is, he kind of plods along a little bit. He's with you. He doesn't look like he's, asleep or anything, but he's just kind of goes along with you. So.
Gotcha. All right.
Oh, fuck.
So, do you know any good taverns in town?
Oh, you?
No, Sin. Sin.
He's never been here. He doesn't remember this place. Well, if he does remember it, he doesn't. Well, if he has ever been here, he doesn't remember it being here.
Oh, We'll find a tavern afterwards so you can actually eat something, unless you've got some food with you.
I am what you see and what I carry.
All right, cool. So we keep heading over to meet Vargason.
Okay, so you meet Vargason in the courtyard of the Freehold, and you're going to relate your story to him. Okay, and
Okay.
this is easy enough to do. You understand that you traced the where the orc raids are in Highport, the city of Highport.
Right.
You believe that they are running this operation, let's just say, out of what looks like a kind of dilapidated or ruined temple at this city of Highport.
Right.
You explain that what they're doing is they're trafficking, let's just say, slaves of some sorts going in and going out. And let's see. So there's a few things that you do know about it. So let's and Vargson, you already know this as well. So this is going to be important to the rest of you guys. So I want both of you to do. Let's see. Do you have? Well, Vargson would have this anyway. So I want you to do a history check based on your wisdom. Okay.
Okay.
So you're going to do history.
Check.
And Aldemar, I want you to do history as well.
All right. I got a plus one
knowledge
history. I rolled a 19, so my history is plus.
Everybody's on fire today, man.
Total.
Yeah, my history was not good. It's 11.
11. Okay. Well, here's the thing that you know, Aldemar, is you know that they are moving slaves in and out of this city. It used to be a human city, but now you are noticing that there are a lot more orcs there, and there are a lot of humans there as well, or humanoids that are going through there. There are a few goblins because that's that's what you track, basically. That's your preferred enemy.
Right.
And you also know that the city used to be a human city, but after what you guys commonly know as the Old Wars, it was destroyed. So you're technically, I should also let you guys know this, is that you are kind of in a rebuilding stage, because there were what were called the Old Wars that happened before you guys, most of you were born. And so you're kind of like, I don't say post-apocalyptic in the area. There used to be a vast empire, but that empire has been crushed in what's known as the Old Wars. That's why there's just like sort of local regions of these territories right now, because there's no real central government per se. There is one that's rising right now. And so you know that this used to be a temple of some sort. You don't know exactly who it was dedicated to, Vargson. But since it's a port city, it was probably some sort of like sea god, like a god of the sea sort of thing. Okay. But it has been torn down, and Aldemar confirms this for you, that there are markings of orcs all over this place. So there's orc glyphs, there's orc language that has been like sort of graffitied on the walls. And what used to be sort of a bustling, thriving port town is now kind of like a waypoint for orcs and other humanoids as well, maybe half orcs as well. Gray Vargson, I want you to do one more quick wisdom check for me.
Hey, Rolo, while he's doing that, would I recognize the symbols that the cleric is wearing?
You know, he looks. Yeah, you would actually. I should straight out. You would know that he's a cleric or priest of Paylor.
Okay.
Neutral good god. You can go actually look it up if you want to. It's exactly.
Well, I
forget. Oh, 20.
Did,
okay.
Not to, but yeah, I'll just role play it and you can tell me if I can do it or not.
Sure. Or you can hit me up in the if you want to hit me up in the DMs on Twitter or something like that. But I should say that if any of you guys want to send me a private message, just do so through our DMs on Twitter. Pretty much what I'm going to go into today is going to be like common knowledge, or you can share it amongst yourself if you wish. If you want to give me private, like say, okay, I do this I go stab sled in the back or something like that, you can hit me up with the DM. So anyways, so Gray, you rolled 20 on that perception. So you remember that you have a prisoner in the Freehold's brig, as it were, and it is an orc that was captured as part of a slave raid. that was defended against that you have right now. But no one that you know can speak Orc right now. Maybe you want to find somebody who is a native speaker of Orcish.
So who's the one kind of leading right now?
So you're with Gray Varkson right now.
So I'm just waiting. I'm not sure if we're
You're discussing in the freehold right now. It's just you, Aldemar, and then you see this guy, this kind of rough-looking fellow who's just in chainmail, has one shield that's covered in moss and muck, and he is covered in some sort of dirt or ash, or you can't really tell, but his skin looks pretty gray to you, and he's kind of standing off to one side, like sort of, kicking the dirt, waiting for you guys to finish.
I kind of sniffing it.
You can smell, you can definitely smell him from where you are.
By Paler's light, how long has it been since you've bathed? You smell like you've bathed in ale.
And I stand very, very rigid, seeing the symbols that you have. Sun God Cleric, I might call myself Sin. As a fellow worshiper, I am at your service. The looks are required.
Undercover? In the taverns?
You could say I'm undercover all the time. And he kind of shows that, like, he's wearing rags and is literally covered all the time.
Drew, do a religion check. Should be easy for you.
Oh shit, 10.
10? Okay. You get the feeling. You get the feeling he's doing. Yeah. What's your plus on religion?
Yeah, +4 for religion.
Say 14. So you get the idea that maybe he's doing penance. Maybe he's like maybe someone, or maybe he's in mourning of some sort. You don't really realize, but you understand that some religions will do what he's doing, like by sort of making themselves filthy as a form of retribution or penance or mourning. You're not really sure what. So yeah, that's what you get, the impression that you get from him.
May the Sun Father's light guide and warm you.
And he bows.
He bows for you. So anyways, Aldemar, you're listening to all this. You know that there is an orc prisoner in the brig right now. Drew, you are Gray. You know that there is also one as well.
Do we want to use?
Oh, and Lupo is kind of like, he's sort of like right by you and listening to all this as well.
Okay. Now, does the orc prisoner speak common or just orcish?
Only orc. It is an orc. He's a pure strain orc, pure blood orc. It is an orc. Orc is an orc.
Where did we capture him? Does he have something to do with it?
He was brought in from an unsuccessful raid, an unsuccessful slave raid along the wild coast, and brought him in like as if maybe they could get some information out of this guy or out of this orc. That you do know that there is an orc and that is in the brig.
Aldemar, we have an orc in our possession. Would you care to join me in questioning it once we have an interpreter?
I will do my best to question it and not kill it.
Do you know of anyone who may speak orc?
There's one I've heard of. He's a half orc.
You've worked with him before.
I fought with him before. His name is Grot. We should find him somewhere around these parts.
Hold on a second. Grot. The name is familiar. Is not by chance the one that we had the incident with the halflings with a few weeks back? He apparently butchered several and ate one of them.
That was it.
That
was it.
That was the same one.
Yeah.
Well, I cannot deny his skill at killing halflings. Not quite as clean as yourself, but if he can speak Orc, would he be cooperative? Or
He
can
would.
he be bought?
If not, I'm sure that there's a way we can find a way to persuade him. He's not a disagreeable character.
Mm.
Can we trust him?
Mm.
He's not smart enough to be treacherous.
Worry about
True.
him conspiring with our prisoner.
Sled, Aaron, Sled, wake up.
Yeah, no, I've been listening.
Okay, before we do anything, I need you to roll a d4.
D4. All right.
Nice.
4.
4. You got 4 luck points for what's coming up next. So
Oh,
keep that on your table somewhere.
4 luck points.
You know how luck points work, right? I told you about that. Luck points can you can increase or decrease a dice roll with any of those, so up to 4. You can use one of those for a reroll, but you got to stick with the reroll if you do so. And generally they apply to you, but depending on the circumstance, sometimes you can give them to a cohort, somebody that's with you.
Okay. So it's basically I have plus
Need to be
4.
around you.
So I have plus 4 to rolls. It could be one
You
per
can use those
4 rolls.
however you wish.
Okay, got it.
To use a luck thing, because that's part of your class stuff. So
Uh,
meant to tell you that before we start.
Did Aldemar and I go and look for Grot then?
Yes, you may.
Okay. So,
And hold on, real quickly, Aldemar, I need you to do a knowledge check real quick.
That's gonna be painful. So I rolled a 4.
Okay, so the last you heard about Grot is that he's in the guild.
Okay.
So you know he's in the guild, and that's something you know. Do you want to explain that to anybody else? Okay.
I don't know his exact whereabouts at this point, but last I heard he was part of a guild. It's a group of thieves and not much else. I don't know.
Brigands.
And brigands.
we're familiar. We keep tabs on them. They're, shall you say, a necessary part of the city's
Ecosystem.
system. Yes. So we generally, as long as they don't become a little too greedy, we tend to let them have their way.
Okay. You notice, Aldemar, you see this about a 15-year-old kid that's like next to him right now. He doesn't look like, he looks like he's in some sort of not bedraggled clothes for sure, but like, some kind of nice-ish clothing.
Nice.
He's kind of like pulling on Drew's robes, as it were.
Is he glad?
He says, master.
Yes. What is it?
He says, are we really going to talk to the guild?
Well, yes.
Oh, okay. So I presume you're gonna go out and try to find Grot then. Put out your feelers.
Yeah.
Okay. So Lupo runs off. He runs off into the freehold. He says, I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't mind him. He's
an idiot.
inquisitive, but useful. He's useful.
Don't mind him. He's an idiot.
I'll get along well with him.
Okay, getting back to Grot and Sarah and Sled right now. You notice that there are people that I think you are vaguely familiar with in the guild who are out and actively looking for someone or something on the streets right now, and are sort of milling about, talking amongst themselves. And you also notice the witch hunter that is with the a group of soldiery right now.
I'll kick his ass later.
Mm-hmm. And so you guys, what do you do?
I suggest we leave.
Probably a good idea.
We go to Highport.
Well, okay, so you're looking for first. We got to figure out how you're going to get there. So you know about where it is, but you don't have any kind of map or have any real pathway to figure out where to go.
So even this is a relatively known town, and Vargason's there, but I don't know how to get there.
But you don't know the pathway. You know that it's through forest, and you know that there's some way to get to it. Perhaps if you just simply traveled south, you might, or well, I guess it would be southeast from where you guys are right now. You know that if you followed along the river, there is, what is the name of the river? I forget. I don't want to say. There's a name. There's a name for the river. There's a main river that is sort of the way that ships can come in and go out of Dunwater right now. If you follow the river south, you will probably end up at least in the Susswood Forest.
Okay. Well, our main goal right now is to get Sarah past the witch hunter and all these people. I just would lean to Sarah and kind of quietly say, "It's your neck. Do you want to be responsible for how you escape, or do you want me to do this?"
I'm not going to worry about these guys as much as long as I stay clear of them.
I'll lean
I
over
should
to
be
the
okay.
bartender. I said, "Is there a back door to this place?"
Yeah, you can, as in the alleyways.
Okay.
There are definitely alleyways.
Well,
That's
I
the
say we
direction
pay for
I'm
our
going.
tab, and then I asked the bartender. I said, "Do you know how to get to Highport by chance?"
It says, I'm not entirely sure, but I know that if you follow the river down south, you will at least get to the Susswood Forest, and it's beyond the Susswood Forest.
Okay. Well, I say thank you. I pay him, and then we just walk back and leave.
Okay. Do a perception check, Sled, and do a perception check, Sarah. No need for you, Grot, because you're too dumb.
Pretty much.
16.
14.
16.
Which way did he go?
What did you roll, Sarah? 14.
14.
All right. As you're exiting the back area, which you kind of have to go through the larder of this inn, as you're exiting the back area, Sarah, you get actually, I should say both of you get a bad feeling from the bartender, the inn's keep guy that was behind the bar. But you're out in the alleyway right now. There's a light kind of mist, a little bit of rain right now. It doesn't smell too good out in the back there, but you're in the alleyway, and you see a few beggars in the alleyway. Back.
I see a what?
A few beggars. I see 3 beggars on the back, along various ways along the alleyway.
I'm gonna heed my gut. I'm going to go back to the bartender. I say, "Wait here for a second, guys. I'm going to go back to the bartender."
Okay.
Is he there?
Back? No, he's gone.
Shit. I can't even see him that quickly. All right. I kind of walk, not panic, but very quickly to the guys. I say, we've been ratted out. And
it's not good.
Not good. You know what?
Let's burn bar down.
I said, let's go out the front door.
Much better.
You go out the front door? Okay.
Well, because he told them we're going out the back door.
True.
Right? And then as I walk past the bar, I'm going to grab whatever booze there is. And you said there's
some rum,
a larder? A what?
A larder. So there's cheese. There's like some dried meat. There's.
I already ate most. If there's cheese, I already ate most of it.
Okay.
All right. I grab whatever flammable booze there. I douse the bar. I light it on fire. And
you could probably light the. You could light the larder
bar down
if you want.
Yeah. Something in the back room, quote unquote, is what.
Someone have Havling.
Yep.
Okay, so,
and
you start a fire. It starts to smoke a little bit. It's coming up. There are still people that are there too.
Whatever we're doing, we're just walking out like we're
walking out like nothing else is happening.
Because that smoke isn't catching to us
Lock
yet.
up the door like it's Halloween.
A question there, Rolo. Do we have like a house or a home or a safe space we can go to?
You can go to guild headquarters if you want.
Let's go to guild headquarters.
Okay, so you're making your way up.
Brad's going to have his sword drawn as he goes out.
As you go out the front door, you notice that the witch hunter and the militiamen are not there anymore.
Haha.
And it's still bustling. There's still a lot of people moving. There's a lot of traffic, foot traffic that's on the main thoroughfare where you're at.
All right. Yep. We'll just walk as if we're going to church.
Okay. So as you guys come out of the tavern, a small about 12-year-old girl dressed in sort of black in a black outfit grabs you by your grabs Grot by your arm and pulls you. Says, what the hell are you doing on the street? And she's trying to pull you off to the side for you.
Do I recognize her or the garb that she's wearing?
You don't. Sled, go ahead and roll a knowledge check, and Sarah will roll a knowledge check.
Because I have my sword and don't touch me.
16 plus knowledge,
Sled,
not wisdom. You said knowledge.
Don't worry about it. Sled, you know that she's guild. She's guild. She's trying to pull you guys off the street.
So before I slice her head off, you better tell me who she is.
Grot, she's with us. And I say, okay, where should
know
we
her
go?
name. Yeah, you can tell she's guild though.
All right. Okay. I
Where do you
sheathe my
recommend-
sword.
I say, where do you recommend we go?
She says, follow me. Come with me.
All right, follow her. Let's
And
follow her, guys.
She's like this. She's like, what's on fire?
I don't know. Some must
Bacon.
It's not barbecue night. She pulls you off to guild headquarters. She brings you down into sort of a stone building that is along the main thoroughfare, back down through a few alleys. You've been to this place before to sort of get information. This is sort of a place where it's like a speakeasy kind of place for just guild members. And down there, you also see a small boy, or it's a small boy, but a 14, 15-year-old boy who looks very kind of pasty white, and he's in kind of clothes that are look like maybe he is of noble class. And he, as soon as you head in the door, he looks at you guys and says, "We really need you. We really need you."
Jesus Christ! What?
I swat him
Why?
aside.
What is it now? What?
Get out way.
And he says, "You need to come. You need to come."
No. What is it?
Father Vargson needs you.
Who?
Father Vargson.
Oh, is he in Highport?
No.
I thought he was in Highport. I thought everyone was meeting in
the name
Highport.
sounds familiar to you.
Vargson needs to meet us. Okay.
What go on?
How about? Does he need to see all three of us?
Yes.
Whoa.
Well, he looks at Grot. He goes, and especially you. And he looks like he's a little petrified of you.
God damn it!
I point at him. What?
Can Vargson come here and meet us at the guild?
He could.
Okay, because wait.
What do you want to send him back to have him come?
Well, but this kid doesn't know this. But so far, we're trying to prevent one of our party members from getting killed. I just set fire to a place. We have our own mission. Now I got to go meet this guy called Vargson. I mean,
It's like our trademark. We just burn shit down.
Yeah, it is. That is. He needs to see all three of us, right? Like, I won't do, or one person won't do.
He looks at all of you guys. He looks at Sarah, and he looks at him a little like kind of squinting at him. But he says, "You guys, come on."
Fine.
Great, hungry.
Is there anything in the guild that we can use, like maybe change our clothes?
You can, yeah. You can.
Yeah, let's change our clothes, guys. Let's change our clothes.
Smell like burning bar.
Yeah, I'm gonna change into something that just I didn't have on before.
Okay, so you're gonna change out your gear, your garb, whatever, so that
not my gear, just my garb.
Yeah, same here. Change the garb.
Same thing.
But I still have that disguise going on because that's got like an hour duration to it. So
you got to keep that together. So.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They'll never recognize you in those brown robes.
You need to Sarah,
like Grand Theft Auto, you just painted the car. Nope, we just smell like smoke. My bad.
Sarah, roll a wisdom check real quick.
16.
Okay, you know from experience, you need to be very careful about magic that detects alignment and magic that detects like other magic. So something to keep in mind as you are being led to the freehold and into where it's kind of like a temple area. It's like the religious quarters, let's just say, of the city. And this is where you encounter Grave Arkson, Father Grave Arkson. And after about 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, Gray, Lupo comes back and he has Grot and Sled, and Sero in tow. And Aldemar, you are already familiar with these guys, so he has dragged them to you. I say bodily, but he's sort of like insistent, like kind of, come on, pulling you guys. And Grot, when he, are you still there, Vince? I don't know if Vince took off. Oh, go ahead, Drew. You had a question?
No, I was just going to greet them.
Okay, so you're going to greet them. And so Lupo brings these guys to you, and he goes, "Is this the guy? Is this the guy?" And he's pointing to Grot, the half orc.
Yes.
He says, "He looks scary."
By the shining one's golden beard, if it isn't Halfling Breath himself.
And Aldemar, you see Sled and you see Grot coming into this temple area where you guys are at now. And Sin, you also see Grot, half orc. Grot, you can Vince, you can describe your character so Spencer is a little bit more familiar with you. Sero, of course, you see Sero as a humanoid that is kind of in like heavy robes, but he looks human enough, and you can't tell whether he's trying to hide his face or whatever, but he seems to be a little bit more reserved than the rest. And then you see Sled, and Sled is, I believe you are in studded leather armor, Sled?
Old school 6 leather armor, yes.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, Grot's in piecemeal chainmail. He has a kind of a beat up, tattered cloak. He's taller than most half orcs. He favors his human side. He's about 6'1", 6'2", fairly bulky.
Mm-hmm.
And he's you don't know that yet, but he's not that smart. You'll figure that out.
Yeah, he looks like a half orc, but
yeah, exactly. He carries a 2-handed sword strapped across his back, and at his side he has an axe.
Okay. Aldemar, you are a ranger. You already know what he looks like. Sarah, do you want to describe yourself real quick to him?
Sure. He's a tiefling, and basically you won't see it right now, obviously, with the disguise spell going on, but he's got ram horns that kind of curl downward towards his face, towards his mouth. He's got red eyes. You basically won't see any pupil to them. And he's got black skin. And he's about 5'10", 5'11", somewhere right around there.
Yeah, he is shorter than you, put it that way. Sin, you see him as a human. He's fairly well built. What do we say you are? 6 foot tall?
7. I'm
7
6'7".
foot. He's 6'7".
I'm a big dude.
He's a big dude. So you see him. He is dressed in chainmail. He has one shield with him, and his feet are still kind of wrapped in the wrappings that he had. He almost looks like a beggar, but and smells to high heaven. So Grave Arkson, they've arrived. What are you going to do at this stage?
Well, after greeting them, I say, Grot, how long has it been since you've spoken Orcish, and how fluent are you?
He rattles off some Orcish to you. He basically curses you, but you don't know it.
I assume that means very.
Yes.
Would you be willing to assist us in a discussion with a prisoner? And I must insist that you translate exactly or as close as the languages allow, as the information we are trying to collect is absolutely essential. Many lives may depend on it. And of course, you will be well compensated as usual.
What translate mean?
Lupo interrupts. He says, he wants you to interrogate a prisoner.
I do that. Yes. You have ale and cheese on you.
You have lots.
Someone say ale.
Yes.
Yeah, he just said the word ale.
Ale and cheese. That payment enough.
We can have all the ale and cheese you want once we are able to obtain the information we require from the prisoner.
Okay. Where
persuasive you are in your questioning, the more ale will flow.
All right. Where Pudwack?
Okay, so are you gonna lead him to the brig, basically?
So I assume I know where it is. So I lead him to where this is.
Okay, so
I want to go with them as well.
Okay, Aldemar, everybody.
Thank you, Samuel.
Want to go along? You'll get the information whether you go or you don't. Sled, you could if you want to participate, you can. But
Yeah, I'll go down and watch him interrogate the
it
prisoner.
might be.
Yes,
It might
sled. Shut mouth.
I didn't say anything.
Shut
Okay.
mouth.
So Gray will Father Varkson will take you to the brig. So he lays you down, and as you get down to you've got to go down a flight of stairs. It's an underground. I'll say it's a prison, but it's definitely a place for hold. It's not a dungeon, I should say, but it's more of a prison kind of thing. And as you get down there, you encounter the guards that are there, Gray. And they look at you and they're like, "This is highly irregular." I says, "What is?" I says, "And you're the seneschal." So one of them takes off for a moment and sort of exits the prison area, and comes back about 10 minutes later, and the regent is there. Ernstadt, Lord Ernstadt comes down and says, "What are you doing, my prisoner?"
Shut up.
He looks at Grot, and he looks at Saro, and he looks at the rest of you, and he's kind of, who are these people?
Shut up, fool.
We are going to ask some questions of the prisoner. We believe he may be able to provide some insight into the slavers. The information that may prove useful in stopping these raids and allowing us to end the trade of slaves through, is it Freeport?
Highport.
He's kind of looking. He's looking at as you're talking to him. He looks at, and he's not a short man. He's about 5, let's say 10.
Him short.
He's got kind of a scruffy beard. He has his robes. You know him on a first name basis. His first name is Benelli. Okay, so Benelli or Ernstadt. Von Ernstadt is actually. And so he says, "Are you sure about these guys?" He looks at Sin and he smells. He says, "What's with this one?" And then he looks at Grot and he looks across. He goes, "Can you speak this beast's language?"
I cursed that asshole out in Orcish as well.
Okay.
He says, "May the Sun Father's light warm and guide your path."
He nods. He doesn't know what the hell you're saying, anyways. So he looks at the guards and he kind of nods to the guards, and he follows you in as well to this prison. Now you come to one of the cells, and in that cell there is an orc that is there. He looks as if he is badly wounded, badly beaten to some degree, and only is swearing at you guys in Orcish. Now, Grot, you're the only one who understands like what this orc is saying.
All right.
He is swearing. He's swearing in Orcish, and he looks at you, and he swears. He goes, "Who is this?" Like in Orcish. Only you're the only one that gets this. Go ahead, Gray. What do you want to say, Drew?
said, Grot, I need you to explain something to our prisoner, and I need you to make sure that he understands this. I am a healer.
Shut mouth for a moment.
And I will not allow him to die.
Shh. Shut mouth. I need two things. Cheese. Works like cheese. Cheese and ale.
He calls you cheese-eating bakpa, which is half-breed mongrel.
I've Grat heard worse. You nothing. It's we worked this out.
You will have your cheese. You will have your ale. You need to make sure that the prisoner understands that I am a healer. I can keep him alive. Which
Why
means
talk so much?
how much pain we inflict upon him, it will.
It's a torture to me.
We have you out soon. Hush. Quiet.
Sin takes a very aggressive stance. Like the shield kind of towards his back.
This not helping.
Kind of a hunched over, but you notice that he's kind of at this where his back's against the wall, and not only is he looking at the prisoner, but Grot and the others as well.
All right.
Ask this if he has any offspring or any women where he comes from.
Understand orc interrogation. I need cheese and ale now, and I need entrance to sell.
You want to let him in? You can command him to let him in.
I second the half orc's request for ale. That would be a good idea.
Right, the guards allow you in, just you.
Is the other orc restrained?
Now you can listen to what's going on behind the prison bars right now. So he is the prisoner's restrained. He is in chains right now.
And Grat can kick his ass anyway.
He doesn't look like he's a threat to you. So you can ask questions if anybody else wants to ask questions through you. You can, but he's basically calling you a half-breed mongrel and a traitor. You're traitor. You traitor to your race.
I order the guard to unlock the door and let Grat in.
Okay. So God doesn't
find Grat. He is a translator.
Yeah. Leave.
First,
whatever that mean. I add extra stuff to help.
Okay. Grot, I need you to do a perception check. Only you.
All right. Perception. I have a +1. Another 10. I got 11.
Okay. You notice that this guy, this orc, has some kind of scarification on him. Like symbols that are scarred into him.
Would I
like on his shoulder, on his forearm, and stuff like that?
Would I know what they were? Or was that part of the perception?
Yes.
Okay.
Do a knowledge check too. As odd as this sounds, do a knowledge check and do a knowledge check first. Let's see if you can do it.
14.
14. Okay, you know that they're religious symbols of some sort. And so he has, and when he's speaking to you, he is speaking to you in Orcish, but he's speaking to you in a different kind of dialect, like an accent.
Really? And I wouldn't recognize like where that was from, right?
Well, you understand the words, but it's more like Pig Latin to you, or it's kind of like broken English to you when he talks to you.
So it's not as pure.
Yeah.
As Rod is walking in, I lay a hand on his shoulder just as he passes.
On
Grot's shoulder. Just giving him guidance.
Okay. So you feel it giving you
tingle in my swimsuit area.
All right, so he's looking at down, and then he looks up. He goes, "You want mongrel half-breed?"
All right, that not nice. Grat here is friend. You hungry? You thirsty? Yes, you have. I know, brother. You hungry and thirsty. I know from scars that you.
He looks down and then he looks up at you, and there's some kind of scarification on his forehead when he looks up at you.
What I touched the scar. What?
Do a religion check. I know
I
that's
say
odd.
what that means.
Really odd. It's going to be whatever you.
Yeah, right.
I also ask Aldemar on the side. I whisper to him, "Are you familiar with any of this? Have you ever seen an orc with these markings before?"
13 roll.
Okay. You realize that the symbol that's on his forehead is the symbol for Grumish. Grumish is the orcish god, the main orcish god.
Yeah, Grat knows that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this guy's a badass. All right. I admire and respect your fighting ability. But you look hungry and thirsty. First thing first.
Okay. So what do? You give him something?
I'm going to give him some ale. Try to get him liquored up a little bit, and I'm going to give him some cheese because, as everyone knows, orcs love cheese.
Guards bring in a wineskin that has ale in it.
All right. Yeah. A flagon of ale.
Sin, you smell it.
Sin, you get later. You get it. Hang tight, Sin.
Okay.
So
he sort of calms down a little bit with you, but he still does not like the fact that you are a half orc, not a full orc. He says you like the slavers. You like them slavers.
No, I make best do with circumstance I find myself in.
He says, why you fight for these? Why you fight for these half breed? Why?
I do not fight for half breed. I own Team Grat. You understand? Not Team Slaver. Team Grat.
I want a shirt, Team Grat. I totally want
Team Grat.
That'll be the new merch for this show.
There you go. Team Grat. You know, orc, half orc, all team as one.
He looks at you. He looks you up and down. He goes, you can make a lot of money.
Yes.
You can make a lot of money.
Yes, we talk later. Shh.
You go. He says you go to the city. You go to the temple.
Wow, temple. What temple?
He said you'll make lots of money there.
We make money, gentlemen. Money.
They need. He says not them. He says you.
I know these hanger-ons.
And he looks.
I just raise a brow.
I ask Grot, what is he saying?
He said we make well, not you. You guys smell. I can make a lot of money.
Is he offering to bribe you to let him out?
No, he think you retard. He like me though. I bring cheese and ale. We orc brother. Team Grat.
So he says, why you here? What do you want? They just kill me anyway.
All right, so at this point, Gray, what's the main question you want Grat to ask him?
What can he tell us about slavers operating along the coast? The slavers raiding and operate on the coast. And where were they trading? They were trading at a temple.
So you're gonna ask him that, or you're gonna ask him through Rot?
I'll dumb that down a little bit, make it sound a little more appealing to this orc too, because that's just it's just
okay,
it's not quite how you say it.
So he said, so you get out of him the same thing that you already have kind of picked up from Aldemar, which is that they're running the operation out of a temple in the city of Highport, and he looks at you, and he looks at Sled, and then he looks at Saro, and he says you guys could buy slaves if you want. And he looks at Saro and he sniffs, and he goes, this one, he buy. He says people like him, says they buy.
So I'll relay that back to Gray.
And then he looks at Sin across there, and he looks at Saro, and he kind of sniffs at both of them a little bit, like he smells something about the two of you for some reason. He can't. It looks like he's confused.
Sin sniffs back.
I think he smells the ale on Sin. Ask him if he is with the slavers and what he can tell us about them.
You with slavers and what you know of slaver?
He says, "You go see Karun. You see Karun.
We see Karun. Where Karun?
Karun will help you.
Where Karun?
Karun in the temple.
Where fuck temple?
This is temple in Highport.
Highport. All right, we go Highport temple. See Karun.
Did I hear Grot say Highport then?
Yes.
Say, hang on, Grot. Does he know how to get to Highport?
Yes. Minor. So how we get Highport?
He says you go through forest. Aldemar, you know how to get there already. You've already scouted out the area.
All right, never mind.
Where did we capture this particular orc? Was this one of the raiders?
No, he was. Well, you don't know. You don't know. He was one that was captured in a failed raid.
Failed raid. Okay.
So I'm going to give him more ale. I'm going to give him more ale and another slice of cheese.
Is he one of the slavers? Is he selling, capturing and selling slaves?
No, you would get that from just looking at him. He's not a slaver, but he is probably in all likelihood he is probably like muscle for the slavers.
Okay.
We
make good money in Highport. See
Karun. He says you go see Karun.
What?
Take care of you. He looks at Gray and he goes, Karun will take care of you.
That not good. Yeah.
You don't understand what he's saying, but you do, Grot.
I'm gonna grab him. I'm gonna just kind of grab his face. That not nice. What your name?
My name Githrig.
Githrig. I think. Sound familiar. We talk later.
Okay. So you guys want to ask him anything else?
Yes. So what can he tell us about the strength of the numbers in the temple? How well guarded is it?
How well guarded temple numbers?
Okay. So he tells you heavily guarded. He says many orcs there. You never get in. You never get into the temple.
Are there any wizards? Any sorcerers?
Okay, so you asked. I presume you're translating, Grant.
Yeah. I'm gonna anything that Gray says, I'll translate as best I can.
He gets that, and he understands. Okay, so he's looking at Grot for a moment when you ask that question, and then he looks directly at you. He goes, "Karun, take care of you."
Not good. I'm gonna wave it at Gray. This not good.
Did Grot already tell me that he's a Grumsh worshiper?
I did, yeah.
Okay. Are there any eyes of Grumsh?
Are there any eyes of Grumsh?
Eyes of Grumsh.
Priests.
Eyes of Grumsh are everywhere.
I smell you full shit.
Oh, this may be. Don't tell him I'm saying this. This may be difficult. I wonder, Saro, do you think that you could assume this orc's appearance convincingly?
Probably on a passing note, yes.
Does somebody have good drawing skills? I could draw them.
Please make careful study of his face, his scars in particular, and his appearance in case it comes in handy later. In fact, practice. See if you can freak him out a little bit.
So, guys,
I'm sure I could freak him out.
Any of the rest of you guys? Okay, so Aldemar, a lot of what you're getting from this conversation right here, you can corroborate a good portion of it. You do know that there is a temple that is in Highport that you believe from your scouting and your reconnaissance missions up there that's where a lot of this is going on. Is it centers on one temple that's there. Now there's it's a walled city. You can get in. You probably could get in easy enough. But they're the main area or the main the main temple or main thoroughfare, I guess, in the city is the temple. That's the main commerce center, I guess. And then there's the port, so there are ships that go in and out. From what you can see, what you know, there has been there are orcs there in the city. There are humanoids of some sort. You haven't you haven't been able to tell whether they're human or whatever. They could be elf, they could be human, they could be half orc, they could be whatever. You know that they're not halfling or dwarves. They're not that small. So you have noticed that there have been slave parties or slave caravans that go in and out of this city. So you can corroborate a good portion of what this prisoner is saying right now.
Does he know where they're taking the slaves, other than just selling them from the temple?
He doesn't have any knowledge of that.
Okay. Does he know who any of the buyers are, or would he have recognized anybody that we might be able to also question?
Well, he says the best you can get out of him. He says buyers look like you. And he points at Saro, and he points at Sled.
Tieflings.
But he doesn't know he's a tiefling, remember?
Oh. Yeah, I'm magically disguised.
Human.
Yeah, but remember, he was sniffing at you a little bit ago, but he looks at Saro, and he says, they look like you. And he looked at Sled, he says, they look like you.
So do I know Sled's name? I would know him from previous.
Yeah.
Sled.
Yeah.
Do you know of any slave trade that the guild has been involved in? This seems highly unusual.
Not involved, but they know of it. We know there's been slave traders. They've been moving inland. We all have, I think, the same goal. We all somehow seem, because of our various employers, to have to go into Highport and do something about the slaves.
So
slave
remember,
trading.
as this is going on, Lord Ernstadt is behind you listening to all this as this transpires and picking up on stuff with the guards there that are with you.
Father Vargson, if I may ask a question.
Oh, of course.
Grodd, can you ask him, are there mercenary slave gatherers, non-orc, human?
Any non-orc, human, slave people at temple?
And he says they look like you. They look like him. They look like him.
Who? Me?
No, he points at Saro and he points at Sled. He looks at Aldemar and he goes, I know you. I know what you are.
More half elves and tiefling.
Aldemar, actually, you understand a little bit of orc because you're.
I've killed many orc, but I've never bothered to learn the language.
Okay.
He's like fuck that.
Yeah, I'm trying to exterminate them all.
Which is odd that we're friends.
So he said they look like you, and then he points at you too. He says they look like you too, mongrel half breed.
I get that a lot. I'm not worried. Besides, I'm bigger than you. I kick ass. I give you more scars, but you do well by us, so you have more cheese.
All right. So Drew,
don't waste too much food on him. He's not long for this world.
Well, it minor thing.
And I asked the regent. I turned to the regent and I said, would you be willing to share anything that you may have picked up during the last few days? Anything that might shed some light on this? Did any of the other regents, any of the other lords, seem suspicious in their?
Well, you know this. Okay, so you can ask him that, and he will say, you know already what I'm dealing with here. Diplomacy is a cutthroat politic in this day. So he says, as far as I know, there are several regents that wanted to simply pay these slavers off, and then there are others who wanted to use full military force against them. It sounds to me like we need to find out what's going on here. And he looks at the rest of. He says, "Can you get in this? Can we form some sort of team here to get in there?"
How many of your men would you be willing to spare to for us to bring along to aid us?
Well, he's at this point. He says I cannot spare any men, because if he did, then it would seem like he was using military force against the slavers. And not right now, he has to sort of feel out where the sort of dispositions are of the other regions.
So we have to be a fact-finding party then.
That sounds good. Find me some facts.
Understanding how sensitive this is, especially with consideration to diplomacy, would it be advantageous in any way for us to use this opportunity to possibly plant information that might cast aspersion on some of our enemies?
Depending on what you find there, he says, we need to know what's going on. We need to know where these caravans are going. We need to know who's behind all of this. If it's one of the other regents, then we need to know that. If it's not, then we need to figure out what course of action to take after that. But this is and you know this as seneschal, that the politic here is done from the edge of a dagger. So he says, I would advise extreme caution, and I would advise extreme stealth, and looks at Aldemar directly in the eye as he does so, because you're the one he sent out in the first place.
Right.
Fuck that one up.
If it turns out to be one of the other regents, how would you like us to deal with them?
Well, as you would any other traitor, as any other treasonous bastard. So he says, you know my policies on those things.
Is there any message, assuming it is one of the other regents, or possibly more than one of the other regents, is there anything that you would like Sled to pass along to them before he helps them along on their journey to the next world?
They liberate them.
He says, just get me proof. All I need is proof.
Do we have a sack for heads?
Well, he says that's up to you. I will leave that up to you. And then he says, form your team, get in, get out.
We team here.
Okay.
Team Grat.
We should probably continue this discussion around some ale, and I could
cheese.
Go for cheese, fruit, and boar.
Yes, meat.
With apologies to my brother Sin, if you could sit a little bit closer to the smoke, so it might.
Here's some money for a bath.
All right. So
being close to the smoke would be fine. Before we leave, though,
sure. Go ahead.
Grot.
Yes.
Could you ask that prisoner, do they hit you while you're restrained?
Do they hit you?
Of course they hit me while I'm restrained. I'm an orc. So all we do is suffer.
Sin turns to the guards and says, if you hit another restrained prisoner, you shall know the sun god's vengeance. And starts walking away.
I agree.
They look a little confused, but
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I turn to
as we're walking out, I say, it's okay. It's an orc.
All right. So you guys can go to the main dining hall in the freehold at this point. And you can have a meal and a sit down if you all wish to talk amongst yourselves. And also, Sin, you are the your only worldly possessions right now are the chainmail that's on your back and your shield. So
Correct.
So are we kind of sitting doing the dinner thing?
yeah, so you guys can sort of have a collaborative thing here.
We'll pay for him.
To do. Now Lupo is with you as well, so he is sort of like hanging around and kind of refilling your glasses,
fetching drink.
He is absolutely thrilled that he gets to like hang out with people like you.
So it's Jack Napier.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna pick Napier. It's just Jack Napier. All right. So
it's Lupo Napier.
Lupo Napier.
Sin,
I could have him come in and play Lupo. That would be
that would be kind of funny, actually.
roll him up, Brother Napier. I can't help but notice that you seem to be capable, but have no weapon. Did you lose your weapon? Is there a
Lupo Lupo is a smart kid, but he's not let's say he's not proficient in weapons.
Oh, sorry, I'm talking to Sin.
Oh, you're talking about Sin. Okay.
So you have your shield. It appears that you have a rather fine mail underneath all of that. But no sword, no hammer, no axe. Did you misplace your weapon?
He's probably 6 ales in now. Only need shield and mail for defense. I am weapon.
So have you taken some vow that prevents you from being able to commit violence? It's important that
no, violence is very, very much a friend of mine.
Good, because we will probably be needing plenty of that where we are going. Just needed to make absolutely certain that if we do encounter any difficulties, that you will be helping with the violence.
I have a habit of losing weapons. The shield I keep, but weapons come and go.
What is your favorite? If you could pick a weapon right now.
These. And you can see that his fingernails, he looks like a mechanic that's been doing a transmission job for like 9 months.
That ain't dirt.
His hands are black and the fingernails are all encrusted with grime, and it's almost kind of, I mean, it's off turning to see him like put food in his mouth because
like licking your fingers
and
shit.
Like everything he eats tastes like shit because his hands are covered. But he doesn't care. He's eating because it's there, but he's more interested in, I mean, he's pounding drink after he's drinking them like a fat man eats chicken wings at like Old Country Buffet. Like he is just downing them. He's on a mission.
Okay. So
from God.
Have you considered possibly wrapping those with rope or leather or perhaps orc hide or something? Might
Nah, I haven't met anything I couldn't batter, bash, or break.
Okay, so I need to focus on keeping you healed. Now,
just don't fuck with my buzz, Father.
Aldemar, I need you to do let's do a knowledge check for you.
Yeah. Oh.
How are we doing? What do we get?
19.
19. Okay. Is that with your pluses?
What's with these 19s today?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's the
age of TJ's girlfriend. So.
You get a 19. You get a 19.
There you go.
No problem.
So, Aldemar, you know the direction basically of how to get into this city. You know that it is the center of the slave trade in some way.
Right.
You have seen you've seen people come and go toward the temple is that they're discussing is on a hillside, so it's fairly easy to find. It's close to the coast, so it's away from the docking areas and the main port areas, but it's fairly close to the coast as well. You've already been to the outer walls of it, so you know where it is.
Okay.
And again, you have seen slaves go in through, and you're fairly confident you could get into the or close enough to the temple to sort of scope it out.
Scope it out. Okay. I'm gonna roll for stealth.
Okay.
So I rolled the 7 plus 7, so 14 stealth.
Okay. So what do you want to do?
You mentioned it's close to the coast, so I'm thinking, is it possible to scale the outer walls on the side that's in the coast?
It's fairly the walls part of it are very loosely guarded as it is. So getting in at night probably wouldn't be a problem. It's the temple that's guarded, not so much the outer walls of the actual city.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So just to confirm, who's with me right now?
Are we still eating?
Yeah, you guys are in the dining hall right now.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was going to ask Aldemar, what approach do you recommend? Shall we go up the coast? Shall we sail? Shall we go through the woods? What is the fastest and least likely for us to be spotted?
I'm going to suggest we go through the woods.
Okay. You want to ask Aldemar anything about his reconnaissance mission?
Yes.
I do.
Okay.
What did you notice about the security? Did they have advanced scout parties? Did they have any? Did they have any groups patrolling? And if so, how far out from their temple or their walls? Did you see any weak points in the walls?
I didn't notice any. Security seemed pretty light from what I saw.
How well lit is the area?
So Aldemar would know that it is. I'll just say that the High Port was once a human city.
Oh, okay.
But the land and the town have been overrun by humanoids like orcs, goblins. You presume probably hobgoblins as well, because wherever there's orcs and goblins, there's probably hobgoblins, because they're all kind of sub races of the same species, really. As you and your scouting mission, you try to stay, as out of sight and as stealthy as possible. You did, however, run into some orcs, some half orcs, and occasionally a gnoll.
They smell.
So you managed to avoid them without too much trouble.
Okay. Right. I think we should try going through the woods, and then the security didn't seem too strong. Most of the focus was transferring the slaves from the temple to the port. Mm-hmm. And so I think that if we're cautious and take our time and do it right, we shouldn't have any problems.
Why stealth? Why not walk through gate? As weary traveler.
The idea, Aldemar would know this. You get the idea that stealth is of the top of the order in all of this, because you don't want anybody running off. You don't want anybody getting.
Not only that, but
there's a lot there. So
not only that, but they might move. We don't know what's inside. They could have more security there. They could have most of their security over by the port. That's probably where they're having. The main issue is making sure that people don't try and steal the slaves while they're en route to their buyers.
That was my recommendation.
Yeah. So as long as we keep quiet and don't make a huge fuss. The other thing is we don't want to attract attention from all the other orcs and other types of creatures that are around the temple, because if security comes on us, they're going to notice us too. We don't want to have to fight a two-front war.
And the other thing is you also, and you know this from Lord Ernstadt, that he wants you to keep it quiet. for his own political reasons. He wants you to get in there and find out what the hell's going on. So he's got like information is like a weapon for him.
So
Fuck that guy.
bow. I without my sword, I put it away. I pull out my bow. I keep my arrows in my quiver, but just keeping it in case we spot anything. And I turn and say, if we see anyone, let me handle it. The idea is we take them out quietly, but from afar. We don't want to. So.
We could take advantage of a talent of yours and create a distraction that would allow us to more easily slip in unseen. You could set possibly a granary or a brewery, something that would burn
down forest.
Not the forest.
Not the forest.
Just buildings.
Do not burn brewery.
Away from where we want to go, just to draw attention away just long enough that we were able to slip in with less chance of being seen.
Let me see what kind of equipment that I have. Let's see if there's anything.
Oh, we have.
You can have equipment. Whatever you need. Now remember,
we
have Sarrow burn.
Don't
Okay.
you?
I have a tinder box and some arrows, so I could improvise. But I think I like the idea that we create some sort of distraction, and then while they go out to investigate, we move into the temple. So
We should probably plan for arriving there as soon as we have a moonless night. I know that if there's orcs, there's elves, that it won't affect their vision as much, but we should take every advantage that we can.
Lupo says it's always a moonless night because it rains all the time here now. You know that,
it's
man.
English countryside weather. So it's a moonless night tonight. Does anybody have any spells that would serve our purpose?
It's gonna take some time to travel there, so it'll take you a bit to get to where you need to go because you know how long it took you to get through the forest to get to where you need to get to. Okay. But I mean, I'll move you guys along to the actual city. We won't have to go through a forest adventure or anything like that to get there.
Yeah, let's just plan to head out through the forest to approach from the woods. And then we get there, we'll assess the situation and see. I mean, security could have changed. We don't know. So let's just stay alert and figure things out when we finally get there.
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do right now is you guys can discuss amongst yourselves like what you think the best plan of action is once you get there. You all have common purpose right now, so you know that this is where you need to go for various reasons. The regent. Ernstadt is saying, he's advising stealth. Please keep it hush hush. Also, you might bring the entire city or fortress down on top of you if you don't. Lupo at one point of the conversation says, "Why don't you just dress up as slavers? Walk right in."
I was thinking of that since they had mentioned that they looked like the orc had mentioned that they looked like sled. That's a possibility.
We make good money as slavers.
Well, Lupo, we could go in. We could dress as. That's a good suggestion. Dress as members of the Thieves Guild. We could,
and everyone at the table goes.
We could dress you as a slave.
Well,
that might work. We could say that we're returning you. We didn't feel we got our money's worth. I jest. That's actually you're a useful boy.
Okay, you have some decisions to make right now. So first off, you can be equipped with whatever it is that you need right now. Sin, if that's something that if you feel like you want to grab something, you can. Right now, Aldemar, I didn't get you on episode 0, so I needed to give you a few things. In your travels, I mentioned in the private chat, you've got 8 + 2 arrows that were given to you by the druids. They were sort of ensorcelled by the druids. So you have 8 + 2 arrows. So you technically have 28 arrows on you right now. 20 of them normal, 8 of them at +2. You also have a healing potion.
Excellent.
Now remember, in this world, magic is very rare, and Sarah knows that better than anybody else. And so there you have it. You already understand that. You guys are exceptional. This is why Lupo is sort of impressed with all of you sort of collected at one table right now, because you are sort of like superheroes to this guy. To the commoners, you're well above, your status is well above anything that they could have imagined. So that's why they kind of look at you, and you will draw attention to yourself in sort of amongst the common folk. So there you have it. So something to think about. Now, I'm going to move you guys along to through the forest here in a little bit. But before we do, I want you guys to, if you need to equip or anything like that, you can go ahead and do so.
I changed out of my vestments into some leather.
No, Drew, they don't give you leather. They give you brigandine armor. Do you know what brigandine armor is?
Oh, yeah, the brigandine.
They give you brigandine armor.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I'm like, there's no way you could use, because you were saying last time something about leather armor, and I'm like, but you could, you can, you're proficient with heavy armor, but it's not technically heavy armor, but it's brigandine armor is sort of like leather.
Heavy-ish.
With steel plates wrapped in leather.
Okay.
It's
I
believe it's equivalent to like AC 14.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. I like it.
Father, you asked of weapons. I do occasionally lose a lot of the time morning stars. You wouldn't happen to have an extra one that wouldn't need to be returned.
You could certainly give him a normal morning star. That's easy enough.
I guess out of game, is there anything in my equipment list that I couldn't ask for?
Not technically, no. Did you want to clean yourself up before you go, or do you want to remain the way that you are?
Fuck no.
Fucking pigpen over here.
I'm assuming we're going to like bed down for the night.
Well, yeah, I will end it right here, and then when we get together for next session, we will start at the temple.
I would ask for a private room.
Okay.
And this is before I get completely obliterated. I would ask for a private room that faces the sunrise.
Okay. Sounds good. We can get to that.
All right. I'm not finding
Mecca.
in armor in the software that I'm using for this. What is that closest to? You said AC 14.
AC 14. You won't find. I don't think you'll find brigandine armor in any AD&D books, as far as I know. Maybe it is.
Okay, I'll find something that's AC 14. That's
true. I looked it up. There's a site that does old school AD&D to 5th Ed. I'll show you it. I believe that there is, if you're using D&D Beyond, not to plug, it's just
I'm just using dungeonmastervault.com.
There is, if you look it up, you'll be able to build the stats that you need, but there's a studded leather brigandine as a homebrew item on that website to save you the work of doing it. But it's basically AC 14, and it covers your torso up.
That's cool.
And leaves your arms exposed unless you're wearing vambrances.
Okay. I'll see what
Not to overtalk.
So what they now my other question is this. Lupo wants to go with you. Could be advantage, could be a liability.
He can at least be a porter, and if Jack Napier decides to come on,
he could be a good link boy, put him that way.
I look at Lupo. Lupo, you want to come with?
Jack.
He's like, yeah. He's looking at you guys.
There you go.
Cool. How much,
how much ale can you carry?
We babysit.
Lupo,
How
much ale can you carry?
He says, I can get at least a couple of horses.
I think it'd be more appropriate if you rode a cow.
Oh, not to ride.
Pull a wagon.
He said
Pull a
not to
wagon.
ride. He said not to ride, to
Full
carry
of
our
ale.
provisions.
Yeah, get a cow.
Milk.
So
I just want to
Drew, you now have brigandine armor. You have now. Remember, Drew, you can only use non-bladed weapons.
Yep, I've got a mace.
Okay. Sarah, as you, I presume you guys are resolved to take this trip to the temple, so we're just going to go there. As you are leaving the temple to sort of take your journey, you notice that the same witch hunter and his sort of retinue are mingling about in the freehold right now. You've managed to avoid them, but they are obviously part of the entourage of some one of the, let's say, regents of the area that are there sort of haggling over what they're going to do. Now, you guys are technically on a secret mission right now to go and do this for Ernstadt right now. So you know that they're looking for you, and you don't know exactly what the hell's going on, but you know that you're being hunted.
Great. I just want to stay as far away from them as I can.
Yeah, we all just get
no attention to myself.
Okay, is there anything else you guys want to equip up with right now before you get into this? Remember, this is like a stealth mission.
Oh boy, I'm assuming we have just like basic like bedrolls and.
Well, you have. I equipped you on the last on the episode 0, right? So you have your rope. You have your most of you guys have rope. Oh, by the way, you also have a warhammer. Which is more like you do. Sorry, Drew. You have a warhammer in addition to your mace, which is sort of perfect. Look up Footman's hammer. That's what it looks like.
Okay.
Grot, what are you using? What's your main weapon?
My main weapon is a two-handed longsword.
Two-handed longsword,
or greatsword, I should say. And then my secondary weapon is a throwing axe.
Okay.
I don't have a shield, and I have patchwork chainmail.
Okay, so have you decided, Drew? It's really your call. Do you want to bring Lupo or not? He really wants to.
Yes, we'll bring Lupo. He's old enough. If he wants to come along, he can make the decision. I will do my best to keep him safe. No guarantees.
Okay, so do you want?
We can always find work for him in the temple.
Okay, so if nothing else, he can carry a lantern for you.
Sin slams down his mug and goes, if nothing else, he looks like he could take an arrow or two.
He kind of swallows. He got a big Adam's apple. Okay, so that's it for today, for tonight.
He has a Dutch accent.
Mm-hmm. Accent. He has a bit of a regional accent, but that's just because he's sort of like noble born. So.
If we're serious about this, I'll talk with Jack.
Yeah, that would be kind of
that'd be kind of cool.
I wanted to ask
an NPC.
Do you want to step up our time frame for this game? Do you want to do it like every other week, or do you want to do it?
I'm fine with that.
I'm good with every other week. Yeah,
I think maybe because I would rather do like multiple, like every other week and 2-hour sessions every other week, because that will move us along really nicely.
I'm fine with that. Yeah.
So I've got all of you guys together. Yes, Spencer.
I'm saying I'm cool if we stay like this week and then 2 weeks from now, just because of I DM opposite of this. So
I have to check the schedule. I have to check the schedule too, because we have guests coming on Mask Going Geek. So, but I think if we do, let's just say if we do the 23rd, which is the day before the Village by the Lake, that would be if we do the 23rd, that's fine.
Okay, that'll be it then.
Yep.
23rd works for me.
All right, cool.
All right. Any other questions?
Break.
23rd, September 23rd. Yep.
All right, gentlemen. Good. We will start at the temple on the 23rd.
Awesome.
All right. See you guys.
Thank you, Dungeon Master Rolla.
All right. You got it. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Cool.
Armor is all set to go then. I just have to find and plug it in. Warhammer. It'll be nice.
Yeah. It'll be a good fun hack and slash session. I look forward to it. That was fun.
You guys should equip nose plugs because I'm just gonna stink the whole time.
Jesus Christ! Just gonna keep throwing ale on you. Ale and burnt halflings.
Practical concern, though. How well can orcs smell?
We smell pretty.
Do you want the game version of that or what?
Well, that's what I'm wondering because I don't know if I don't recall ever reading anything about making smell checks. I know usually perception check is kind of a vague general thing, but I don't recall reading anything specifically that says anything about orcs having better sense of smell than anything else. So
I don't think so.
It doesn't, but it depends on how Rolo does it because there's times where you can apply like survival to that, and it also depends on his world. Like he hasn't really given us any in-depth character on whether this is like Lord of the Rings orcs or if this is more pig-faced Dragonlance orcs.
It's more AD&D first edition orc.
So then
we should just ask him next time how good their.
I guess it'd be their animal characteristic.
Yeah. All right, everyone. So that's going to wrap up for Mask Going Geek number 84, our live session D&D game number 7. So join us another 2 weeks where we continue on and venture into the temple for the adventuring therein. So without further ado, let's go ahead and do some housekeeping where we can find everyone. I want everyone to plug their shit. So, Drew, where can everyone find you?
They can find me at baye.com, spelled just like my last name is BAYE.com. Learn how to build muscle, lose fat without wasting a ton of time in the gym and without beating up your joints and spine in the process.
Excellent. Fantastic. Spencer, where can everyone find you on social media? And do you have a website?
I do not have a website, but you can find me at Random Spencer on Twitter. I am a brewer by trade, so
Cool.
I am in all things craft. Make quite a few of them. Vincent, I saw quite a few of the beers that you're drinking. A couple of PA beers, so rock on. Go
yeah, this one is Yards.
I saw the Yards. Yeah. So yeah, you can find me at Random Spencer. I post a lot of craft beer knowledge things on there.
Cool. Excellent. And look to go check that out. I think we follow each other. Aldemar, TJ, where can everyone find you?
You can go to tjmartinell.com.
There you go. Short, sweet, the way we like it. TJ was indeed very brief. And last but not least, Sarah, Rob, where can everyone find you?
robsays.net.
There you go. And there you have it, folks. Until then, keep the lead flying down range, keep the fires burning, and in another 2 weeks, we'll be playing Dungeons & Dragons yet again.
Awesome.
Rock on.
Ah.